First of all, congratulations to men's soccer. Ryan, undefeated. Big match with Washington this week. Brady Hoke, Aztec football, undefeated. Bye week. And so really exciting times up here on the Mesa. The sports are doing fantastic, and we'll get our start today with official practice at Viejas Arena. The Clippers are in the Jam Center. We were over there earlier watching them. Steve Ballmer, Jerry West, Tyrone Lue. It's like a Hall of Fame over there, so it's good stuff. So watching the Clippers work out, and the Aztecs will take the floor here shortly to start our official fall practice.
Thank you, Coach. We'll open up for questions. We'll begin with Andre.
Hey, Coach. Given how deep and experienced your team is, could you envision a scenario where you start the season with different starting lineups on different games depending on the matchups?
Yeah, we could do that. You know, I'm probably more comfortable coming up with a starting lineup and sticking with it for a while if I think it's working, and then maybe just adjust the substitution pattern. But right now, you know, all spots are open. That's the beauty of this program. Nobody's promised anything, I should say. And you compete for every minute you get on the floor, and that competition has been going on in our preseason, and now we'll start in the fall season. That minutes are up for grabs, and you have to go out and claim them every day in practice.
And then I wanted to ask about the Marshy Johnson. You know, how do you see his development and his value to the team as a freshman?
DeMarshy's a big, strong young man. He doesn't look like a freshman. He's got size and strength about him. He moves at a really good pace on the floor, a good runner. And now it's just getting comfortable with the new system, offensively and defensively. You know, that's the hardest adjustment, going from a high school big to a college big. Because in high school, you're playing on eggshells. If you turn the wrong way, somebody falls down, you have to be careful. But now it's more physical, and I think that suits DeMarshy's game. So we're excited to have him out there and let him prove himself every day in practice.
And you mentioned the Clippers are here. How valuable is it for your players to have the chance to kind of pick the brains of, you know, NBA players and kind of get their perspective and how they kind of elevated to the professional ranks to kind of help them with their progression?
You know, our kids aren't going to the practices, but our coaches are. And so we'll have an opportunity to talk to them about what we're seeing over there, what the next level looks like. I think they have an idea of that, but just to let them know how hard they work up there and that hard work is everything. And talent is one thing, but if it doesn't match with hard work, it's unfulfilled potential. And so we talk at length about how hard the NBA works every day that they're in our building.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Andre. We'll go to Lee.
Hey, Dutch, is Matt Bradley a clone of Matt Mitchell, style-wise and responsibility-wise?
I think he's a scorer like Matt Mitchell was. He scores at any level, three-point shot, a mid-range jump shot over defenders or post-up. So they share some of the similarities. But their games are different. Matt was a little bigger, not stronger. And Matt, I'm saying Matt and Matt, but Matt Mitchell was maybe a little bit taller, but both of them possess great strength and an ability to put the ball in the basket.
How do you grow Lamar Butler's game, considering how dynamic he was in some of his appearances last year?
Just experience. You know, Lamont learned from his minutes last year. He got better as the season went on, used the summer to improve himself, and I think we'll see an even better Lamont Butler this year, whether it's as a starter or coming off the bench. Lamont will be ready to go this year and play at a higher level. I'm sure of that.
The fact that Nathan Mensah came back and played such extensive minutes after the blood clot thing from 2 years ago, is it 100%, no limitations?
He's going 100% in practice, and he looks good. So I think Nathan's ready for a breakout senior year at the offensive end. Obviously, he's always done it at the defensive end, but I think he's getting more comfortable, and I think he'll put points on the board for us this year.
And a final question, are you at 100% vax rate with your players?
No, we're not. We have two players that are not vaxxed at this point.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks.
Thanks, Lee. We'll go to Paul.
Hey, Coach. After going through the one-time transfer rule, actually going through an off-season with it, is there anything that you understand a little bit better than maybe going into it?
You know, we've always had success on the transfer market. And this is the first year we'll have the one-time transfer. Chad Baker will be a one-time transfer, is eligible instantly. But we've had transfers eligible instantly in the past. That's the fifth-year guys, like graduates that come in and play that extra year. So we have a couple of those too. So we've done a good job of mixing transfers with program guys, and that chemistry has always seemed to work. And so we have to continue to bring players in that are about the right things, that want to win beyond anything else, and are willing to sacrifice part of their games to win.
And is there any difference between bringing in a one-time transfer who's younger like Chad versus bringing in those graduate transfers that you just mentioned?
Well, we will find out this year. Obviously, the guys that sit a year, that benefits them greatly. Malachi didn't have to sit, but I think the year that he did set out for us let him explode onto the scene when he got eligible. And so we'll see how these one-time transfers, how quickly they pick up our schemes, what we're doing, how hard you have to play at San Diego State. We'll see how quick that transition is for some of these younger guys.
And Adam Thicko had a really good run at Afrobasket this offseason. What have you seen from him building off that success going into his last year on the Mesa?
Just experience and confidence. Confidence is everything in basketball. And Adam has great confidence in his game right now. Playing in the African tournament helped him. And so hopefully that carries over into this season with the Aztecs.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. We'll go to Mark.
Dacha, obviously a year ago you didn't have a summer with your team and an abbreviated fall. This year you've sort of had the regular normal summer. You have a veteran team. How does that change your approach to preseason practices, particularly in terms of how often you're in a scrimmage? Do you scrimmage more because of the team kind of a lot of
You broke up a little at the end, Mark, but yeah, the veteran team helps, and having a full summer and now fall leading into official practice has helped. So we're a lot more competitive in practice, whereas a year ago we were just individual development if we were fortunate enough to get in the gym. Now we're already building this year's team. We're competing hard in practice, and hopefully that will continue into official practice. We've not scrimmaged yet. We've played segments where we'll play a game to 8 points or something like that, but we've not put 20 minutes on the clock and played a half. So I'm looking forward, now that we're in the fall, after a week of practice, we'll probably start scrimmaging as early as next week to kind of see where we're at over extended periods of time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. We'll go to John.
Coach, hope you're doing well. Good to see you. In regards to just making up for some of these losses, what concerns you the most? I mean, you've got really good shooters on this team, but you won't have Jordan Shackle on this team anymore.
Yeah, that's a big loss. I mean, Jordan was an elite shooter, and so he made important, timely shots, and we won't know if that's going to happen until we play games. Obviously, we've got guys who can shoot the ball. We've recruited shooters to the program, but are they capable of making important, timely shots? We won't find that out until we start scrimmaging and play games. And once that happens, we'll have a better feel for, whose hands we want to put the ball in with the game on the line.
Do you feel like you're even more versatile than you were a year ago in terms of the size you have? It seems like, a year ago maybe you were a tad smaller. This year it feels like you could go small or you could go big. Do you feel like you have that extra size that maybe you didn't have a year ago? Yeah,
we have tremendous size and strength, and that will make practice a grind every day. Those big guys banging down low, whether it's Nathan or Tahiro, Joshua, Jaden Ledee, DeMarche, Kishad, Agwook. We have a lot of size and strength down there. So it'll be a battle for those guys. If I was a guard, I wouldn't want to go down there. I'd stay out and shoot all the threes I could instead of going in the paint with those guys.
And then lastly, when you come out with a schedule like you guys have had the last couple of years, but specifically this year, such a good, challenging non-conference schedule, is that something that the team, does that excite the team? Do they feed off seeing some of these opportunities that they'll have in the first couple of months of the season?
Yeah, they want to be challenged. They want to play at an elite level, and we've had the kind of success where we have to schedule up. We have to play the best that we can play. And whether that's going to Ann Arbor to play Michigan or going to BYU and play them in Provo, those are going to be hard environments. But we'll know what we have early in the season, and that's what I like. We'll know where we're at heading into the conference because we'll be tested in the preseason.